Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. Rigathi Gachagua has declared himself the best opposition candidate to face Ruto in 2027. Rigathi believes he's the best. I want us to have a look at that story as captured by Citizen Digital. For the remarks made by Rigathi Gachagua are going to inform the basis of our analysis right now. But as usual, let me start by issuing a warning. If the opposition makes a mistake of having Rigathi Gachagua as its presidential candidate, William Ruto will win 2027 presidential election with a landslide. If Rigathi will be the opposition's candidate, William Ruto will win very early in the morning. I'm very sure about that. And I know William Ruto wants Rigathi Gachagua to contest for the presidency. If Matiang'I will be the opposition's presidential candidate, William Ruto will find it very rough to win 2027. Assuming Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo will all support Matiang'I in 2027, William Ruto will be in trouble. And I'm saying that because Matiang'i's support cuts across the board. All Kenyan communities supports Fred Matiang'i. And for those who can remember very well, it's Kenyans themselves who requested Matiang'i to be on the ballot come 2027. Kenyans themselves. So if Rigathi and Kalonzo will agree to support Matiang'i, William Ruto will be in trouble. If Kalonzo Musyoka will be the opposition's presidential candidate in 2027, Kenyans will vote along ethnic lines. And it will now depend which side of the political divide has more ethnic political kingpins. But with Matiang'i, for the first time, Kenyans might not vote along ethnic lines per se. So from where I sit, the best candidate the opposition can front against Ruto is none other than Fred Matiang'i. The weakest candidate opposition can front is Rigathi Gachagua. In fact, Kalonzo Musyoka can perform far much better than even Rigathi Gachagua. Gachagua is the weakest opposition candidate who can face Ruto in 2027. Let's have a look at Rigathi Gachagua's remarks, for the remarks are going to inform the basis of our analysis. Gachagua declares himself frontrunner for opposition's 2027 presidential ticket. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has publicly declared himself the leading contender to fly the opposition's flag in the 2027 presidential election, asserting that he has both the political capital and national support to unseat President William Ruto after one term. Speaking in Boston during a diaspora engagement and the launch of Democratic Change Party DCP satellite offices at the Well of Worship Hall in Massachusetts, Gachagua addressed the simmering tensions within the opposition over who should be the coalition's presidential candidate. I am the frontrunner, and I think I have the best chance to be president, Gachagua told the crowd, positioning himself as the most viable alternative to President Ruto. Everyone who wants to be president has been told, go and look for your votes, mobilize your supporters. After Christmas next year, we will meet and decide who carries the flag, just one candidate to face William Ruto, he said in Swahili. That's Rigathi Gachagua. He believes he's the best candidate to face Ruto in 2027. And I know some Kenyans are asking themselves, Rigathi was impeached. Can he be allowed to contest for the presidency? If laws were being followed in Kenya, Rigathi is not viable to contest for the presidency for at least 10 years. But because laws are not being followed in Kenya, and now that William Ruto wants Rigathi Gachagua on the ballot, I won't be surprised to see Rigathi Gachagua contesting for the presidency. From these remarks, you can see clearly Rigathi Gachagua's game plan here. He's telling opposition leaders that they should mobilize their supporters. Then next year, around December, Christmas, they agree to produce one presidential candidate. In other words, Rigathi is just telling the likes of Kalonzo, MATIANG'I, and all these opposition figures angling to be supported to mobilize their ethnic numbers, their ethnic followers. After that, they should meet at a table and agree who is to fly the opposition's ticket. Rigathi understands that if that happens, then next year, December, they will meet and he will emerge as the best now that he controls more ethnic numbers than the likes of Kalonzo's and the MATIANG'Is. So he will bulldoze his competitors in the opposition into supporting him. That's why he's telling them, mobilize your supporters. And we saw that in 2013 during Uburuto ticket. Kalonzo was called at a table and he was asked, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table, Kalonzo? And it was realized that Uhuru Kenyatta, because he came from the mountain, he was controlling more ethnic votes. That's how Uhuru ended up being the presidential candidate with Ruto as his running mate. That's the same strategy Rigathi hopes to use. And it will be too late for these opposition leaders maybe to jump ship. They might eventually be forced to support Rigathi Gachagua. That's what I'm seeing here, ladies and gentlemen. Besides that, I'm seeing the usual ethnic entitlement by these mountain leaders. The mountain believes that they're the best. When it comes to ruling this country, the mountain believes it's their right to rule against other Kenyans. Since independence, only two communities, or rather two tribes, the mountain and the Kalenjins, exchanging power. If Kenyans are not careful, that trend might continue. Yes, Kenyans must see these things well in advance. I consider this as a bad news to the likes of Kalonzo and the MATIANG'Is. I'm seeing a Rigathi Gachagua who is determined to be on the ballot. That's what I'm seeing here. If William Ruto will not reach out to Rigathi, then Rigathi most definitely will be on the ballot. But again, Rigathi is leaving his options open. If William Ruto reaches out to him, Rigathi will work with Ruto. If Ruto does not reach out to Rigathi, Rigathi most definitely will be on the ballot. And that's how William Ruto will win a second term. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.